Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and today's topic is mentoring. Mentors. Why you need to have mentors in your life. Why you need to have people in your life who have done more than you, who have come before you, who are doing better than you or have done better than you, who can take you under their wing, advise you, give you some information, tell you how to watch out, tell you what pitfalls to watch out for, to basically aid you on your way, basically putting you on one of those walking sidewalks, those moving sidewalks that you see in the airport. That you still need to get from gate number 13 to gate number 37, but this walking sidewalk will get you there a little bit quicker. You're still going to walk. Don't just stand on the walking sidewalk. You're still going to walk, but it's going to get you there a little bit quicker. That's what a mentor can do for you. And a mentor can be someone who is paid or someone who's unpaid. It can be someone who is someone you know directly, who you're working with directly, or a person who you work with virtually, or a person who you don't even know. So what I'm going to talk about today is how to get those mentors, why to get those mentors, and what exactly you're going to do once you start having a mentor or when you're in the process of looking for a mentor. Now, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, head of Work On Your Game Incorporated. My background is as a pro athlete. I played basketball overseas 9 years through 8 different countries. Now I am a professional speaker, coach, and consultant on the topics of mental toughness, confidence, and discipline. It's called Work On Your Game is the overall brand. And what I do is 5,000 YouTube videos. I've done 3 TED Talks, published over 4,000 posts on my website, DreAllDay.com. I have a daily podcast called Work On Your Game. I'm on all the social media platforms. I do live streaming. I got this show right here. And today, let's talk about that mentoring. I've been a mentor to, I think, millions of people over the last 10 years through my YouTube content that I started doing in 2006, through the blogging, which I've been doing since 2005. And I'm starting to see those young people who came up watching me because they were so into basketball. Now they're out of high school. Now they're graduating from college. Now they're doing other things that may not necessarily be basketball. And they're saying, listen, man, I learned a lot from you coming up. I got a lot from you coming up on the mental side of things, and the things that I learned from you on the basketball side, I'm able to apply those in my real life now. So I know what it feels like to mentor others, and I also know what it feels like to be mentored, to be the mentee. So I'm going to talk about this topic here today, and you should be taking notes on this. Number one, why you need to get mentors in your life is because successful people, anyone whom you deem to be successful, they are very, very, very happy to tell you how and why they did it. They're very happy to tell you what they did, how they did it, why they did it, what they would do differently. Listen, successful people like to talk about their success. All right, what are you successful at? You think about it. What are you most successful at in life? Would you or would you not be pretty happy to sit and talk to somebody about it who really, really wanted to listen? Of course you would. Successful people just like to talk about things that they've done. We don't like to talk about the bad stuff. We don't like to talk about stuff that we haven't done well, or things that we're not good at, or things we have no knowledge of. But things that we're great at, things that we have succeeded at, especially when it's publicly noted. There are a lot of people who know about our success. Listen, we love to talk about that. So when you find someone who is very successful in a field you wish to be successful in, I guarantee you they will love to share what they've done. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it for free. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it on your schedule, but they would love to talk about it. You just need to figure out which ways they are willing to share. Point number 2, I often get people who come to me and they say, Dre, let's say somebody 22 years old, or somebody 16. They say, Dre, what advice would you give to your younger self? What would you tell your younger self? Well, here's the thing. There are plenty of things I would tell my younger self, and everything you hear me talking about on this show, in my podcast, on my YouTube videos, and my books, these are all things I wish I would have told my younger self. Younger meaning yesterday, younger meaning 10 years ago, younger meaning 20 years ago, or 6 months ago. Yeah, everything that I'm sharing, I wish I knew it before I figured it out. I wish I knew it when I was born. I wish I had this whole mind that I have now. I wish I had this whole manual when I was 1 day old, but I don't. And the other thing is, I can't go back and talk to my 15-year-old self, or my 22-year-old self, or my 30-year-old self. I can't talk to my younger self. So what I do is talk to you all out there, and hopefully some of you can pick up what I'm sharing here. You can pick up these jewels that I'm dropping, get them appraised, and trade them in and get yourself some money. Or you can just keep the jewels. Maybe give them to your mom or your grandma or your girlfriend or your husband. So what I'm doing here is talking to my younger self. But since I can't directly do that, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to my audience. So successful people often get the question. I don't think I'm the first person to ever ask that. What would you tell your younger self? Listen, this is it. Everything you see me putting out is something that I would tell my younger self. So these are the reasons why you need to get a mentor, because every person who is successful would love to talk to their younger self, yet they can't. And every person who is successful will love to talk about how they became successful. And they will love to have you as a willing listener to that information. And you might have to pay for it. But again, how much value do you put in yourself? It's not even the value you put in them, but how much value you're putting in yourself. Now, how do you start getting mentors? Let's say you decided that you want a mentor. What do you do when you want to start to develop that mentor-mentee relationship? What are the steps that you take? Here's step number 1. Do things for yourself first. The first step is you must start doing things for yourself. Because if you haven't done anything to help yourself, how are you going to go step to a person who is 10 times as successful as you and say, hey, can you help me out? Help me get to where I want to go. The first thing most mentors are going to ask you is, okay, where are you now? What have you done to this point? What are you doing right now? And if your answer to those questions are nowhere, nothing, and nothing, why would I want to help you? I'm not going to jump on a train that is not moving. Our dogs don't chase cars that are parked, or they chase the cars that are moving. So you got to get yourself moving first. Help yourself first. When I want to get into the speaking business, I didn't know anything about the speaking business. I didn't know any professional speakers. I knew absolutely nothing, but I started taking action. I went on Google, looked up events that might have a speaker there, and I started sending emails. I had no idea what to say in the emails. I had no idea what the process was, if there was a certain way things were done, but I started taking action. And by taking action, I started meeting the people who met the people who met the people. Eventually found someone who became a mentor of mine, started to get more direct information, more better information. But the reason that mentor was willing to work with me was not because it wasn't because they were just looking for a random person to help. It was because one thing I think is very important is that I was already taking action. I already had some traction. I already had some credibility. I already had some collateral. I was already in the game. I had already decided that I was in the game and I was taking action. I wasn't just talking about it. So what you must do if you want a mentor is not sit around and say, well, as soon as I get a mentor, I'm going to become successful or I'm going to start doing stuff. No. You start doing stuff now, and because you're taking the actions, you'll be on the same level of energy, that same wavelength of energy that mentor will find you. You won't have to go look so hard to find them, because when you're taking action, those people will notice. But you got to start taking action first. Don't wait until you get help to take action. You take action and then the help will come. And a lot of the questions that you have will be answered the more action that you take. So do things for yourself first. You want to be $1 million blogger, but you don't even have a website yet. How is that possible? You want to win a Grammy for your music, but you haven't booked not 1 hour of studio time yet. How is that possible? You don't need a mentor to book your time. You don't need a mentor to go to WordPress.com and start your blog. You got to do that stuff. These are things that you must do by taking initiative, personal initiative. Number 1 key of success. Actually, I'll say number 2. Number 1 is having a purpose. Number 2 is taking initiative on that purpose. And I'm going to talk about that in a future episode of this show. So you don't need a mentor to start taking action, okay? You got to start doing something for yourself first. Number 2 point on how you're going to get a mentor. You approach a mentor not with, hey, I need you to help me. Not with, hey, I need this, and this. Can you give it to me? Not with, hey, can I pick your brain over, can I buy you coffee to pick your brain? Listen, let me tell you something. Person who is, let's say, a mentor, someone who's 10 times as successful as you or 2 times as successful as you, their time is worth more than the cost of a latte at Starbucks. So offering somebody coffee to pick their brain is not an equitable exchange. Now, you may think to yourself right now, well, Dre, why does it have to be an equitable exchange? Isn't the mentor supposed to be willing to help people? Listen. Help does not necessarily mean free. Okay? Help and free are not synonymous, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a mentor, you need to offer them something in exchange for their mentorship. It does not necessarily have to be money, but you need to understand that value is exchanged for value, and value is not always in the form of money. Maybe you don't even have money, or maybe you have money, but you don't have the amount that mentor would charge if you wanted to pay them. What else can you offer them? Maybe the mentor is looking for someone to pass their knowledge on to because they see greatness in this apprentice person. Maybe you can be that individual. Maybe the mentor needs someone who can do some paperwork filing. Or maybe they got all their documents on paper and they want to get them transferred into digital, and you know how to do that. Or you can help them find the person who can do that, and you can kind of spearhead the whole thing. Something. What value do you offer the mentor as the mentee? It has to be some value that you offer. People don't do something for nothing. I don't care how much they have. They don't owe you. Just because somebody has a whole lot or they have a whole lot more than you, relatively speaking, doesn't mean they owe you something. People don't do something for nothing. No sane individual ever does something for nothing, even the richest man or richest woman in the world. What is it that you're coming with equity? This is what I've done. This is what I'm doing. This is what I can offer you. Have something. If you don't have anything, you take some initiative and go get something. Figure it out. Number 3, how do you actually get these mentors? How do you develop this mentor-mentee relationship? This is the most important thing when you get a mentor, because if you don't follow this point right here, you won't have a mentor for long, and you'll have a hard time getting it. When a mentor gives you advice, when a mentor tells you, hey, do this, when a mentor says this is the step that you need to take, when a mentor says be here at 7 o'clock, do it. When a mentor tells you to do something, do it. When a mentor offers you a suggestion and say, hey, you know what, if you take these actions right here, see what kind of results you get, then next time we talk, we can see what happens from there. And you don't do anything, why would I want to continue to mentor you? If I'm giving you information which you neglect to use, and then you come back to me wanting me to give you more when you just basically disrespected what I gave you already, I'm not working with you anymore. When a mentor tells you to do something, you must do it. So understand that having a mentor doesn't mean that you just got a free ride to success. It means the mentor is going to tell you exactly what to do, exactly how to do it, maybe change the way you're even thinking as you're going about it, but you still got to take some action. You got to take a lot of action. You got to take a lot of action and keep showing that initiative with your mentor. When I was playing pro basketball, I used to work out. This gym in Miami, I worked out at every single day. One day I seen this kid in there, younger kid, he was about my height. We played some games of one-on-one. I said to him after the workout, because he was about my size, I figured even though he wasn't at my level skill-wise yet, and definitely not experience-wise, I could use him as like a practice dummy. I could play one-on-one with him. We could do some shooting drills. I could use him as a rebounder, because I could see, and through our conversation, I knew he wanted to play basketball professionally as well after we had a little bit of talking. And I said to him, listen, if you really want to work on your game and get better, you could come to this gym every day and just work out with me, because I knew he was available to come to the gym. Just come to the gym every day and we can work out together. But I gave him one caveat. I said, since I know you're available, because he was telling me about his day-to-day schedule. So I said, since I know you're available at this time every day, you better show up every day. Don't not show up. Because the first time you don't show up, this offer is over, it's canceled. You got to show up every single day and work with me. If you want to be a pro, this is part of the business. Working every day, showing up. And mind you, I was in there every day before this kid ever showed up. There was no one in there. It was just me. That's what being a professional is about. He said, okay, I'll come working. So he came for about 2 weeks. Then he disappeared. He disappeared for about 3 weeks. I don't know what happened to him. Didn't hear from him. We had each other's number. Didn't hear from the kid. He shows up maybe a month later to the gym one day. He comes over to the court that I'm on. This is a big gym with 4 basketball courts. And I said to him, what you doing over here? Why are you on this court? He kind of looked at me dumbfounded, and I said, you remember what I told you, right? He said, yeah. I said, okay. And why are you over here? And that was it. That was the last time I saw him, last time I spoke to him. Don't disrespect your mentor's time, energy, attention, or advice. When your mentor tells you to do something, you are obligated to do it if you plan on remaining the mentee. And any mentor you get, this is an unwritten contract that you have. So don't say you didn't know, because I'm telling you right now. Now let's recap these points. Why you need a mentor. Point number 1, successful people always want to share how they became successful. Trust me, they love to talk about it. Number 2, we can't give advice to our younger selves. So we give it to you. We give it to the mentees, whether that's virtual or direct. And again, let me make sure I throw this out there again, that being a mentor does not necessarily mean free. A mentor and coach, some people use the terms interchangeably. Me, I like to say I do mentor people, but I charge money for it and I call it coaching. So mentoring does not mean someone giving you free information, or you can pick their brain, or you can exchange 30 minutes of their time for your $6 Starbucks coffee. Are you kidding me? No. Sometimes you're going to have to come out of your pocket. Now the question is, how bad do you want the success? Now what will you do once you have a mentor? Once you have a mentor, number 1 point, you got to do things for yourself first before you even go look for a mentor. Start doing things for yourself. So you have some traction, you have some credibility, and you show that you have the ability to take initiative and that you're doing it, actually using that ability. Number 2, approach a mentor with equity, meaning this is what I'm doing, this is what I've done, this is where I'm at, this is what I can offer you in exchange. Get creative. Figure out what you can offer another person. You don't need, listen, if you can't figure out what you can offer another person, then you probably shouldn't approach that person. You need to take some time and figure out what can I offer this man or this woman that they don't already have that they would see as valuable. And if you don't have an answer, you need to do your research, because this big thing we have nowadays called the internet has plenty of information on damn near anybody. And if you can't find information on that person, you can find a person next to the person who has the information. But that's your job. Again, we call this initiative. Number 3, what to do once you have a mentor. When a mentor gives you some advice, do it. If you disrespect that advice, you won't have a mentor for long. Everyone, I have books, I have programs, I got courses. They are all down below. And trust me, I got a whole lot more coming. Again, for those of you who don't know, my name is Dre All Day. My social media stuff is right up here. I hope it's over this shoulder. I always get it mixed up, but I think it's over this shoulder. My social media stuff is right up there. My podcast is every single day. It is called Work On Your Game. We're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud, we're on Stitcher. Any questions for me, comments, concerns, praise, criticisms, Snapchat at Dre Baldwin, my website, dreallday.com. Everybody, work on your game.